Today on AKHarrell Writes, we are doing the top gifts writers secretly crave, plus some they probably won't ask for, but desperately need. Vlogmas Day 3. Hello, my reader and writer friends. I am Angela. This is AKHarrell Writes, and if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, you know what's shaking. How y'all doing? Okay, so today, like I stated, I was looking at gifts and, the holiday season, birthday season. I told y'all about how many birthdays I got in December, right? So anywho, we're looking at all that. But I was thinking, what about gifts that writers may secretly want, just don't want to tell you, or that they need? And so I came up with a little list of things, and they're kind of in different subjects. So I really didn't know whether to put this video into the writing section, the personal section, because yes, I would like some of these things too. Just saying. So I'll probably look down at my phone a little bit. I will probably also be off camera talking so that I can show some of the things I'm talking about. We've got like 6 kind of big areas, and I'll go through those. We have writing software. We have gizmos, gadgets, and writing tools. We have education, the business of writing, unwanted gifts, and a beautiful writing life. Those are our subjects. Let's get started. Okay, for writers, we try to use things that can make our life a little bit easier. Some of that is known as writing software. And writing software are tools designed to kind of help the writer compose, edit, organize, polish their work, that kind of thing. It's usually a little bit further advanced than just like, a basic word processor such as Microsoft Word or Google Docs, even though many writers still use those and are fine. I am one of them. But I have been looking at different types of writing software, and I may decide to use one in the future. I just haven't decided which one. Right now, I'm showing you some different ones that are kind of common in the writing community. Some of them go hand in hand with each other, and like I know Scrivener and I think Pro Writing Aid you can use together. I think some of the other ones do too. The one at the top with the N, that is called Notion, and then there is Evernote. And so your writer, person will probably lean more towards, one or the other. There are several writing software packages, and if you want to get your writer person a gift of that, then I would just suggest giving them a gift card for what it is, or if you already know what it is, then of course you can say, hey, I will spring for that for you. But what I would not do is to make the decision on your own. Just, write in a little card, I want to buy you a writing software, and they will make the decision as to what they want and need. As I stated before, different writing software does different things, and your writer may need one or more of the things that particular software offers that the others don't. And I will also make sure to link some of the other writing software in the description below. So I'm going to start this section with the electronic type of gadgets and gizmos that writers can use. The first is a portable like keyboard, I guess you could say, but it's like a traveling kind of like typewriter, wireless. So yeah, it's real cool. The next one, and that's made by Freewrite. The next one is a Kindle Scribe, and with this one, it's a Kindle and it's a notebook, like electronic notebook, all in one. The next thing we have is a digital recorder. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's easier for me to write, quote unquote, by talking. And if I can just talk out the story and then go back and transcribe later, that helps a lot. So some people really swear by, dictation, and I have found it to be a useful tool at times myself. The third thing there is a trifold collapsible keyboard, which some people again also swear by. I have not used that, but it's a Bluetooth foldable keyboard, and so that's piquing my interest. I'm gonna look at that. The fifth thing is, if you're a writer person, is also an author tuber, booktuber. They may need a content creation kit. And, most people can use their, iPhones, not have to go out and buy a camera. But some of the gadgets you see there are, kind of basic things. There's, a camera or phone, a tripod, a microphone, and then you want to try to use the little furry thing sometimes so that your audio can be a little crisper. I am still looking at microphones myself. I do have a small portable like Rode mic, but I didn't want to spend too much money just starting AuthorTube. So don't necessarily believe that they have to go out and buy the most expensive thing, but you do want them to be comfortable in what they are using. And the final thing on the screen is the HP all-in-one printer. Again, it does not have to be a certain brand. I just happen to like the HP all-in-one printer because it also comes with the monthly ink thing. Well, I don't want to say monthly, but it comes with the ink. Once you run out, you don't have to worry about trying to go and find others and all that kind of stuff. And it really is it's pretty reasonable. They just send you ink when you need it, okay? And they send it to you ahead of time. They also have it where they'll send you paper ahead of time. So they, it's hooked up to their system, and so they kind of know when your ink is low, when your paper's low, and then they'll send you out that stuff well beforehand so that you don't have to be rushing to the store to go buying it. I'm telling you, it has been a lifesaver. And why would a writer need that? Well, sometimes we want to print out our pages so that we can look at it just like you would look at a regular book and make changes that way. It's just a different type of process. Some people do the, Google, track changes and all that kind of stuff. I personally prefer to print my pages out and go through them, because a lot of times when I'm looking at stuff on a computer, I kind of miss stuff because you're constantly looking at your computer, or you're constantly looking at that same kind of notebook. So just to print it out, to look at it from a different perspective, can help a lot when you're doing your proofreading. Now, the next slide that we have is going over more manual type tools that writers can use. As you can see, you can never have enough post-it / sticky notes to write little, notes down that, you don't want to take too much time away from the writing. The second photo shows a whiteboard where you can write your ideas down. Sometimes you don't want to just write it on a notebook or have to type in a thing. You can just jump up. Sometimes you can use the whiteboard to show your plot sequence, or to draw a picture, or something like that, something that you maybe do a whole scene out. And that's kind of what I try to use it for, so that I can be focused. I can see it right there. I don't have to keep switching from program to program just to kind of see visually what my scene is. The third thing is a calendar, a desk calendar, or a wall calendar, any type. This is a nice one. There's a waterproof cover over it, which I hate to say it, but sometimes I do spill some water. Okay, so that helps a lot. The fourth are those Sharpie S-gel pens. I love those pens. I do. I think I've said this before, they do not leak. They're actually very pretty. They have a great grip on where your finger is, where you hold the pen, because sometimes you get those ink pens and you could be writing or something like that, and you're tired of writing because the pen hurts your fingers. And this one has that nice soft cushion grip, and so I like those. The fifth thing are people who really love to write longhand. Think going back in historical times, to just dip your fountain pen into the ink is just gives you a different feel. And there are all types of fountain pens. People are into fountain pens when they are into fountain pens. So if that is the route that you want to go, or even if you just want to have one as a souvenir, just to have writing. Maybe you want to sign your first book with a fountain pen. So but they are beautiful. They come in different sizes, different materials, beautiful cases. So that's just one example. The next photo is just a photo showing a different coffee company for people who like to drink coffee. This one I think is the Atlas Coffee Company, and they have like this little kit, and as you can see, it's real cute because they give you like different flavors of coffee to try. This one is I think 8 different things. They do have one that's cheaper that has 4 in it, but look, it has a little tasting note cards to tell you about the different flavors, and then they have little postcards in it. So that is such a cute gift. The next item is from the tea that I love to drink, and this particular flavor is lemon chiffon. When I really like lemon tea, and I put lemon juice in my tea a lot. With this one, I do not have to put lemon juice in my tea. It is very nice. It is caffeine free. Okay, some of us need that, but it is such a very smooth tasting tea. And if you know about tea, you know what I mean when I say smooth. The last thing is a planner that we all need. My daughter introduced me to this planner. It is called the Daily, Dailee. And right now I have this one for 2026. They are sold out, okay, but hopefully they'll come back in stock. But I will do a separate video showing you this planner because it is the bomb.com, okay, I'm telling you. But even if you don't get this planner, you should get a planner because it helps you to keep your writing goals. It helps you to plan out your writing life and keep on track of things. So yes, the Daily Planner, go look that up. And the next subject on our list is education. As you all know, I love to learn, and writing is a lifelong learning process, okay? Listen, if you believe that writing is just something you learn how to do once and you just go along, no ma'am, no sir. You you need to continue to evolve so that your writing can continue to evolve. And I found that some, times just there are different ways to learn. And so some of the items that I put up on the screen, they are classes that have been offered through Masterclass, which is like a class full of people who we look at as, either famous or very skilled. Well, they all are very skilled in what they do. And so it's called Master Class. You're looking at the masters of certain things. They have a huge writing master class, section. And the teachers that I have found on there have been wonderful. Anyone from N.K. Jemisin to just a bevy of writers that are giving their take on particular ways to do the craft. Sometimes they talk about the business. They give inspiration, they give, tell you the real deal. So the master classes are very well. I think they're having a sale right now. I did one and it lasts for a year. A lot of the classes have, notes. Margaret Atwood had one in there. Hers was very good. And so, you just get a lot. BBC Maestro is similar to Masterclass. It may have even come out before Masterclass. I'm not sure, but I believe that the BBC Maestro are for masters who are in the UK. And so you have writers, that are, from the UK. And I think, other countries, but mainly from the UK because it's up under BBC, British, and they do their courses as well. And I've heard that their courses are very, very good as well. Teachable and Udemy are two platforms where people are able to give their expertise in different subjects, and they also have quite a few writing classes. They also have content creation classes, business classes, all of that type of thing. And I know that Masterclass has business and that type of thing too. So you can actually do a trial of, I think, all of them, if I'm not mistaken. I just purchased Masterclass. My daughter and I actually went in on a Masterclass one year, and so we were able to get the discount, the family discount. But it was a good course. And I've never taken, no, I'm lying. I took a class on Udemy and I liked it. I think it was about RV, if I'm not mistaken, RVing, because I don't know if y'all know, but I want to be a full-time RVer. Anywho, getting off track. Udemy is good. Teachable, I know for a fact there is at least one authortuber who has her course on Teachable, and I think it's Sarra Cannon from Heart Breathings. I think she has her class on Teachable, but I think her class is closed right now, if I'm not mistaken. But your fellow author-tubers are on Teachable. They're on Udemy. So you can look for those courses. But yeah, taking courses is one great way to make sure that you don't get, stale in your writing. And you have the opportunity to learn from people that you've at least met on the internet. How cool is that? Another great way that writers can learn is by taking college courses or courses at the library. For me, the cost to take a course at my local community college can be, as low as probably like $120 something, maybe lower than that. And so you can find creative writing courses, English courses, grammar courses at your local community college. You don't have to go in as a student that wants the classes recorded. You can just go in and say, I want to not have this course counted as like a regular student, but just take the course, and that way you can still ask questions. You can still have a professor that can speak with you directly. You can still learn the techniques if you are more of a person that learns better in a classroom setting. There are great courses online from prestigious schools such as Yale. I've taken a few of the Yale courses. It's called Open Yale Courses. It is free. Now, those courses may be from classes, from years ago, 10, 11, 12, maybe even 15 years ago, but they're very, very well done. To me, the information that they give as far as literature, as far as the structure of writing, has not changed too much. Okay, if we were talking about the business of writing, I would, probably be I still might take the course, but I probably, of course, would, look at today's current market to see where some changes are. But, Homer is Homer, Hemingway is Hemingway. And so, learning about their styles, their techniques, English grammar is English grammar. Okay. So if you want to, have that feeling of going to a school that maybe, you weren't interested in, if you were younger, or you're interested now, but you don't have the funding, these classes are being offered for free, okay, by, well-known professors at these prestigious schools. Use your resources, okay? Not all of us are able to just, spend money right now on things, but we still want to become great writers, and so use the resources. Also, at my local library, which I'm sure that you guys probably have the same, I use the county library a lot, and they have a writer center, and in our writer center is very, 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 very supportive. I can't say that enough. And they have held in-person events. We're able to, meet with and listen to, famous authors. I do believe, I do believe N.K. Jemisin's coming next year. I do believe, oh goodness, I forget her name, but J.F. Kwong is coming next year. And so we get a chance to meet with them. We also get a chance to drop in. We have like a drop-in center, and I believe it's like every Friday. You can drop in from, I think, like, I don't know, from 2 to 5, and then maybe earlier in the daytime on other days, where there are other writers, so that you can be in community with them. As you can see, what we normally do is we'll talk for a minute, catch up with people. Then we have our writing, sprints or sessions for like an hour. Then we look at each other's work, maybe, a couple pages, and then, we chat again for a minute, and then we ask questions, and then we write. And so that is, and you don't have to, sign up and say, oh, I'm going to be there every Friday or whatever. It literally is a drop-in center, and you can just drop in as you can. And then, I didn't put it on the screen, but writing books, look at your writing books. I've done a video on some of the books that I use that have helped me Right now, I am reading another writing book. It is called The Novelist Boot Camp. Very interested. It even looks like, army fatigues. I'll have to show you guys later once I, review the book. But I'm reading that right now. And there's a lot that you can learn and gain from just reading writing books. You do not have to go out and spend money for writing books unless you want to. You can get them from the library, okay? What I will say is to be cautious about, continuing to look at some writing books. Some of them have a very unique twist. Some of them, but all of them pretty much have basic foundational stuff. And when you feel like you've learned basic foundational stuff, yeah, go ahead and, find one that, really speaks to you. But if you're reading more than 10 writing books, I would say stop. I would say use the techniques that you've learned in those writing books and start writing. Start writing, because nothing helps you to really get the hang of writing except to practice. And you cannot practice if all you're doing is reading writing books. Moving on. A great gift for your writer person would be to do something that helps them to learn the business of writing. And this can mean anything from becoming a member of the Authors Guild, which actually supports and helps writers with protecting their rights. It's a very good organization, and they've been instrumental in trying to get different laws passed, especially when it comes to AI. They've done Senate hearings. They're just a wonderful resource for learning about legal contracts with, literary agents, that sort of thing. So trying to help your writer, person to make sure that they're protecting themselves throughout the writing process, because once we, write the book, or in the middle of writing the book, we still want to be protected. We want our work protected, because this is for, those who are, who want to read our books, and we want to make sure that what we put out is being received in the manner it should be received. And I'll speak on that a little bit more later. Also, attending writing conferences. I am part of the Historical Novel Society. They have a writing conference in North America every 2 years. The last one was this year in Vegas. I was not able to go, but I'm hoping to go in 2027. And I gotta look and see where that is. But yeah, they have some really nice conferences, really nice. They have online and they have in person. They have scholarships, and I was actually on the board this year for reading diversity applications. So that was exciting, and I talk about that in another video, and my reason behind how I did what I did as a judge. But it was a great experience, and I really hope that I'm able to do it again. Also, when it comes to the business of writing, a lot of times, especially for indie authors, which are people who self-publish their books, there are a lot of expenses that comes with that. And those expenses can range from getting an editor, and there are different types of editors. And I've gone over that in a previous video, but there are different types of editors that people need when they're looking to get their book published. Okay, there are illustrators if they want, people to do book covers. There are proofreaders. Sometimes they may need to pay for a sensitivity reader. I've explained what sensitivity reading is, but basically it's a person who reads a manuscript or looks at a person's novel or looks at a piece of art, something creative, normally, so that the audience that it goes out to, and even the audience that it does not go out to, they are not inadvertently, they don't have an inadvertent insensitivity to a certain, groups of people. And so you'll get a sensitivity reader for that. Also, your writer person may need to get beta readers. Now, sometimes you can find beta readers for free, but that comes with the, preparation that the beta readers that they find may not have the time to, actually sit down. They may want to do it, but beta reading is also an avenue where someone does have to take time from their day to read through your writer person's manuscript, and time is short these days. Okay, and so sometimes a person may need to pay for a beta reader, and you can find beta readers different avenues. They have them on Fiverr, they have them on Upwork, they have them through Reedsy, which is just these are different places that I will go ahead and link in the description below as well, for where they can find a beta readers. I do believe even the Authors Guild, and I definitely believe Goodreads and NetGalley has a place where people, where you can find beta readers, and hopefully you can find one. They can find one for their manuscript, but sometimes those come with a cost. Sometimes people will trade, I'll swap you this service if you do that service. But again, most of the time, as a writing person, you want to make sure that what you are receiving is not biased. So you may be a great friend, family, member and all of that. And you may say, hey, I'll read your book for you, for free and stuff. That's great and fine. Listen, we don't turn down free. Okay. That's great. But I just want you to realize that to get a professional review of the work, that is what they may be paying for. And this also applies to people who are going to be traditionally published, because even though the traditional publisher may, have their own editor, of course, have their own illustrator for book covers, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to publicity, a lot of that still falls on the author. And so we want to be cognizant of the costs that are entailed in writing and publishing a book. And even traditional authors can use what I call pre-editors, people that are going to look at your manuscript before you submit it to a literary agent or they submit it to a publishing office. You want to make sure that your book is as great as it can be. And, therefore there are costs involved. So the business of writing is not cheap. And I'm sure anyone that can get assistance with hiring a professional to review their information would be very happy. And speaking of gifts, I could not go past this video without telling you about some gifts that are very, very unwanted. And I know that as loving, caring people, you guys would not be, trying to give these particular gifts to your writer friends. However, I will say that some people are just not right. Okay, they just not right. And who am I speaking about? I am speaking about the person who hears that, oh, you have a family member or friend that, is writing a book, and they know someone who knows someone, and they're an agent, and they can get their services, and yada, yada, yada. I have on the screen a young lady who I watch all the time. You can check her out on her channel. Her name is Alyssa Matesic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anywho, as you can see, she's put up several videos regarding how writers are potentially getting scammed. Okay, and it can be from literary agent, it can be a type of publisher, it can be illustrators, it can be, readers or editors or blah, blah, blah. And so, you have to be as cautious as possible. And as you all try to find gifts for your writer friends and family, I just want to say that be mindful of what writers face as they are going through the process of writing, the process of getting their works published, because unfortunately there are just some scam artists out here. And the Authors Guild is a great organization to try to combat that. There are several others. They're being in the writing community, the authortube community is a great place for people, to just talk about their experiences with people, because people are so excited to have their works published. They're so excited to talk about their works. They're so excited to share the information. And there are wolves out there waiting, unfortunately. So these are the gifts that are unwanted. We don't want them. So allow your writer person to go through their due diligence. If you sincerely want to help, you've heard about this agent, you've heard about this, illustrator, you've heard about a writing professional, you can get the information to your writer friend and let them vet the person. I'm more than probably 95% certain that they have a little bit more information that is not available to you, a few more resources to try to vet people. That's my advice with that. And to the scammers out there, you get a lump of coal with some what on it for the holidays. Stay away. And the last thing I want to talk about is having what I consider a beautiful writing life. To help facilitate that, writers need to have time to write. So if you're able to watch children away from the house so that they can have a Saturday or Friday night or Sunday afternoon to get in with their writing, if you can hire a cleaner, or you can clean the house or cook the dinner, something so that they can go off to a space, whether it's inside their home, whether it's a library drop-in, whether it's a hotel for a weekend or a day, or even a writing retreat, an external writing retreat. so that they can have time to read, have time to write, have time to sit with their thoughts, because a lot of writing is actually thinking. And even though it may seem like a writer is, they're not doing anything because you don't see them with pen and paper, or you don't see them quickly clapping on their computer, does not mean that they are not thinking of the process. Many times I can sit and it looks like I'm daydreaming. I am not. I am actually running a scene through my head. I'm actually thinking of how do I put this piece and this part together so that it makes sense. And that's called reflective time. And sometimes writers need to have time to do reflective time. So whether you can offer money for them to be able to take off work or something like that, or you don't have any money but you still want to help. Listen, free, we love free. We love free. And free, like I said, means giving some time, giving some service. Another way that a writer can have a beautiful life and you can give as a gift is to give encouragement. Not opinions, but encouragement. Because yes, do they, these questions sometimes that people ask, I know you don't mean to be intrusive or opinionated or downright mean, but sometimes it comes off that way. And what do I mean by encouragement? Encouragement means do not continue to ask them if writing is really what they want to do, if that's really a career that they're interested in. Yes, it is. Okay? Do not ask them or suggest to them that, do you think that maybe you shouldn't pick that because you're too old or too young, or I've heard that different races have issues with publication. You have a disability. You're of the LGBTQIA plus community, and maybe do you want to come out that way, or do you want to have people say things to you? All of these things, don't say it. That's not in a form of encouragement. I know that some of you are fearful for your writers, because guess what? Back in the old days, they killed the writers, okay? Because that's a form, or can be a form of protest. It certainly is a form of being humane, because writers are trying to get the experience of being human on the page, okay? The experience of being human on the page. I want you to hear that one more time. The experience of being human on the page. To do that, they usually have to go within themselves. They have to look at other experiences they've had. They have to go through experiences that other people close to them have had. So getting the experience of being human on the page is mind-boggling and beautiful all at the same time. And then the last thing that I would suggest that you give as a gift that will not cost you anything is golden silence. What do I mean by that? Well, stop saying, have you finished your book yet? Or are you almost done? When will we be able to read it? Da 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 da. Let me tell you something. It's one thing to say, how's it going today? How's the writing going? It's another thing to keep doing that age-old phrase, however you want to put it, are we there yet? Y'all know that thing. You ride in the car and the kids is, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh my God. If one of these kids say one more time, are we there yet? You want to throw them out the window. And that is how writers feel when you ask, is your book finished yet? Let me tell you something. When the book is finished, when the book is published, y'all gonna be the first to know it. Trust and believe. Trust and believe you will be. And then it will be a glorious day. And then you can say yay. And they'll say yay. And we'll all be happy. If you guys want to add to this list, then, just drop it in the comments. Let me know. Maybe something you all know I have no idea about and would like to learn. Y'all know I love to learn. So do that. And I hope that you have a great holiday season. I'm going to try my best to continue to do the Vlogmas. I do have to go to the doctor tomorrow, but anywho, we're going to keep on rolling. Late or not, we're going to keep rolling. And in the meantime, in between time, please do happy writing and continue to do happy reading. Bye.